Welcome to Frankly Speaking with Sandra D, where we dive deeply and help you wake up to the essence of what it means to live a real, authentic, affluent life. Beyond the balance sheets, the bank accounts, the private jets, the political offices, into the realm of inner wealth and personal power. I'm Sandra D, your companion guide on this trajectory of truthful self-mastery as we celebrate your individuality and your sovereignty.
Well, I just wanted to let you know this today is a special episode because we're doing it in two parts. This is on Haiti. You know, of course, this is a passion of mine, my birthplace. So, part one, we will discuss the problem in Haiti at the moment. In part two, which will be next week, we will discuss the solution. Is mediation right for Haiti? I hope you enjoy it and let us know what your thoughts are. Put them in a comment, any questions, any concerns, any ideas, any solutions that you have yourself. Please share with us. Thanks again for joining us. Enjoy the show. Good afternoon. Welcome to another fantastic episode of Frankly Speaking with Sandra D. Well, today I have a surprise. Well, remember in the recap we did a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned that 2024 was pretty much very straightforward. A few solo episodes, and what would change this year is that we would have more of a panel format, which means more than one guest at a time, so that we can bring you as much information as possible. 2025 is proving to be the year for information. So if you're like me, a junkie for data and information, this is the show for you. Today, we're going to be discussing a hot topic that is for me, but also an emotional topic for me, which is Haiti. Haiti is my homeland, as many of you know. Well, if you don't know, I guess you haven't watched the show because I don't miss an opportunity to discuss Haiti at all. And so today we will be touching on the topic of mediation and arbitration, international conflict resolution, which is, again, one of my expertise. So with me today, I have phenomenal guests who are experts in their field and like me are Florida Supreme Court certified circuit civil mediator. And also I want to, as a bonus, I have an extra credential, which is Dr. Wilson is a trainer. So let me start by the formal introduction. We have on the panel, Dr. Gilbert Myrtil, who is a law professor and also a retired judge and an attorney with an active practice in Haiti, and he's just become a Florida Supreme Court certified civil mediator. And I will let them touch upon what I've missed. But also now I have with me as well Dr. Chester Wilson, also in Florida, so Florida Supreme Court certified circuit civil mediator. And both of them are here today to discuss and to touch on some of the problems that we currently have in Haiti. And of course, I know that Dr. Myrtil will be most likely the most well-versed in a subject matter. But as far as the solution is concerned, we have Dr. Wilson, who is a trainer in the state of Florida, and he has trained hundreds of mediators, as Dr. Myrtil has trained a number of lawyers. So I'm just the observer today. So I'm going to try to be as quiet as possible. I know I know it's not possible for me to be quiet, but let's begin. So I will begin with you, Dr. Wilson. Would you like to share with the audience as far as what your credentials are in your expertise, in your experience?
Sure.
And welcome, first of all, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. As you said before, I am a Florida Supreme Court mediator certified in family, circuit, civil, and county mediation. I am a primary trainer for family and county, and I am an assistant trainer for circuit civil. I've been mediating since 2014. I also have a mental health facility that provides substance use, mental health, and psychiatric services here in Daytona Beach, Florida. In addition to that, I provide training in a variety of areas that includes mediation and conflict resolution.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. So, Dr. Miltil, would you like to share a little bit more of what I've missed and what's your background in expertise?
All right. First of all, I was in Venezuela for 2 years teaching for the university in Venezuela. After that, I went to the City University of New York, where I was lecturing for them, and Polytech University of New York for 12 years. I went back to Haiti, international business law, conflict resolution, and also I have my law firm in Haiti until now. Is working. I was the president of auditing office and administrative court in Haiti, where I was for 12 years from 1991 to 2020. 2003. When I was teaching for the university, like I said, the international business law, international market, and national and international market, public market, and a lot of courses that I don't have time to say. Now, the problem that I have for me, I would like somebody or some organization to.
Before we get there, before we get there, we
Okay,
will get there. So
okay,
thank you
all right.
so much for that, and welcome both of you to the Frankly Speaking with Sandra D. And of course, this is an unfiltered conversation, uncensored, and unscripted. And of course, I'm very open, and I say, of course, there are questions prepared and everything, but I want the guests to free flow the conversation. So, Dr. Miltil, of course, you have an international background, and we have on the panel Dr. Wilson, who has the training. And of course, some of you may know already that part of this conversation is because, well, I did my my graduate work at Nova Southeastern University in conflict resolution and international peacekeeping with intention of resolving the issues in Haiti. And that was 20 years ago. So it wasn't like it is now. Right now, the country is on fire. We have 70 or 85% of the capital occupied by gangs. That's Port-au-Prince. For those of you who don't know what the capital of Haiti is, it's Port-au-Prince. And of course, my background. I came to this country because my father was representing Haiti at the embassy in Washington, D.C. So I was, what you call those diplomatic brats. I knew nothing about my country until I developed as interest in international affairs. And so now I've become passionate about it. So my guests are here to help us brainstorm with, discuss the problem so that we can get to the solution. So as I was saying, so basically we know that this Haiti is an hour and a half away from the United States by plane. You've been hearing much in the news about Haitians crossing the border. I am one who would love to go back to Haiti. I have land there. So I've had properties, and the only reason I sold the properties is because of the insecurity. And I must say, we have some of the most beautiful beaches in Haiti. So that said, this conversation is to see if we can find some solutions. And being a mediator, I know that mediation and arbitration are some of the most effective tools in the judicial system. So I'm going to go to you first, Dr. Miltil, since you are the expert on Haiti. Tell us what is going on now, and we're going to focus on the judicial system since you were part of it. But what is that? Why is the destabilization of the judicial system so problematic for the security of Haiti?
For 5 years, from 2000, since 2018, the judicial system is dead in Haiti. That means all the court that work normally, and the only way for me to have something done effectively in Haiti is, I think, the mediation is the only remedy that they can use to start having the people sitting in between them, and like everybody is the against, and everybody is against everybody.
Give us
That
an
means
example. I'm so sorry. I know you say that. Let's break it down. So you're saying that everybody's against everybody. We know that. And so the biggest problems we have is within societal, how can I say, structures of Haiti. Of course, we know there's a class system in Haiti, but also within that class system, there are more dynamic. So you want to be more specific about the issue itself. The judicial system has been established since Haiti's independence, which is 1804. Talk to us more specifically about where did the breakdown happen?
All right. Even what happened is because of the presence of the gang in Haiti, all the gangs control everything in Haiti. That means with them, the court normally in Port-au-Prince or the Port-au-Prince and Gonaïve, Artibonite, those cities from two departments, that means the most who has the most people who can contribute in the development of the country.
So those are the
That means
three
they
most
have
populated cities.
60%, almost 60% of the population reside in those two departments.
Okay.
And by this fact, everything, every aspect, political, economic, or even educational, whatever that you want to do, you have to have a control. Those two departments have the control of the situation in Haiti. That means when the gangs control those two departments, it's very, very difficult for the judicial system to work, for the economic system to work, and for the educational system to work. That means this is the way I see it. And now you ask me to how we can regain or control again.
No, we're not there yet. Let's keep talking about the problem. So I was in Haiti in 2014. I stayed at a hotel in Pétionville, which is Port-au-Prince. I did not need a bodyguard. I was there with a driver. I was able to get to the bank and resolve my, family business affairs. Today, if I was to go to Haiti, first of all, I would not go to Haiti. I don't even think the airports are open. But if I were to go to Haiti, I would definitely not just need a driver, but a bodyguard, because there are so many kidnappings happening. So let's talk about the judicial system, because I know the biggest problem right now is the fact that if you have some kind of crime committed in Haiti, there is no court system to actually bring some resolution to the victim. Is that correct?
Even before that, the judicial system has a big problem. The problem is, for example, I am a lawyer.
Yes.
I have a lot of cases, until the Supreme Court, and I won for my customers, for my clients, and I cannot execute them. The biggest problem that I have in the judicial system in Haiti is because there is no sheriff to help you to help executing the judgment, the trial.
Oh, okay.
If you cannot execute the trial, you pass a lot of time before you win. Okay, that means you win, but you cannot execute. That means for me, there is time, there is money spending in those situations, and until now, I have a lot of cases or a lot of trial that I win. I cannot execute them. Understand that they don't have the mediation system in Haiti yet, and also I think is the system, in international system law, we have at least four, they call that law system. The first one is Romano-Germanic, which is the one for Haiti, France, the Dominican Republic, all people, even Germanic people. We have the second one is the common law, common law system, which is the system of equity. Okay, that is better than the Romano-Germanic, because with the common law, we don't waste too much time to execute.
Before we dive back in, it is a pleasure to tell you that my book, Sendor Inner Luxury, Unlock the Secret to Your Luxurious Self, now on Kindle and as well as on paperback. So feel free to rush and get a copy for your loved ones. In addition, if you are loving these extraordinary conversations about luxury, about balance, about emotional intelligence, about a little bit of politics, a little bit of spirituality, if you're loving all of it, well, rush to Amazon and get my book. You will learn emotional balance is from within. You will learn to elevate yourself to the frequency that you wish to express in the world. so there can be more love, more peace, more harmony. Well, there's more. You can rush to pre-order my next book, which is Sindor, Guide to Luxury Living and Emotional Balance. Well, for me, my brand is all about living from within, emotional balance, emotional intelligence, and luxury. And for me, these books are flowing endlessly from me to you with so much love. Let me know what you think. Let me know after you read it. Put a comment, put a review. I'd love to hear from you.
This is the reason why, for example, in the United States, when you won or you have a case in the court, you won, there is a sheriff with you to execute it.
Sure.
What they don't have in those Romano-Germanic system. That means that take a lot of time. And I think the reason why the mediation, for example, better remedy that they can try, they can bring to the system, the Romano-Germanic, all those countries, Latin American, African,
Africa,
okay, where they use this system Romano-Germanic, okay, in France, for example, they take a lot of time to resolve the problem. Or we can, when you take this resolution system reform in United States, is better because with the mediation, for example, both parties can sit down and conciliate, have a conciliator or arbitrator or mediator, help them bring things together.
To communicate. It's all about communication.
They don't have to go to court for that.
Right. So okay. I want to bring in Dr. Wilson on this topic of judicial system because, as mediators, we are part of that judicial system. So based on what Dr. Miltil is sharing, Dr. Wilson, I know your expertise doesn't extend over to Haiti, but what he said, how complex is that problem even try to bring some kind of solutions? Haiti's clearly has been led to become, and I say led to become, a failed state because with every problem, they're always the main actors and they're the enablers, right? So do you have any insights on, initial conversation about the problem itself?
Well, I think the problem itself stems that the judicial system has to buy into the mediation process because if you have judges who are not buying into it, then they're not going to refer to mediation or look at it as a practical solution for solving the issue. However, in my experience, when the judges are working with the mediators, you're able to not only clear the docket, but you're able to give those parties a voice in the mediation process. Because as we know, the mediation process is the right to self-determination. And that allows them to come up with solutions aside from the court. So it can be very beneficial, but the judges have to buy into it. The governmental system has to buy into it, where it allows and gives space for individuals to solve their own problems as opposed to backlogging the court to make decisions on something that a third party neutral person can facilitate the parties to make their own decision on.
Absolutely. I agree. And so I wanted to get to the root more deeply into the root cause of this. So we know that, again, I talked about the enabler. So, and thank you so much for that, because I think for me, I was someone growing up who was not an effective communicator, but I saw when I looked at all the leaders around the world, my father included, because my father was a military general, as I looked at people who were in positions or decision makers, they had the ability to communicate in a way that most average people did not. And I felt like as a mediator, I needed to learn the art of communication before anything else. So let's talk about the communication style in Haiti and talk about why are the leaders not talking to each other to bring some kind of resolution? Because there's a panel in Haiti. I don't know if you knew this, Dr. Wilson, but we're being led right now by a panel of, they call it the snake with 7 heads, Dr. Milton. And so a few heads on the snake that is sort of suffocating Haiti right now. How many members on that panel? Is that 7 or 9?
9.
Is it 9? So we've not had that since I think 1986, a panel governing Haiti. And this is after the dictatorship in 1986, when Duvalier was exiled. There was a military junta which had a panel of, I don't remember, my father was a general, but he wasn't part of that group. But there were about 7 or 9 generals leading Haiti at the time. So
it was like mixed.
It was mixed with civilians as well, right?
civilian,
Okay.
Professor
So,
Good,
so I see here there's a breakdown in communication.
five military.
Five, it was five military. I remember General Nofi who's a friend of my father's.
Yeah,
He led
General
that. He led
Colonel
General Regala, General
Regala,
Nofi, and I can't remember the
Max
other. But
Vallet,
let's put that aside. That was like in 1986. So
Avril,
we're way beyond that.
Avril.
Avril, well, that one's still alive. I want him to come on my show and discuss what he thinks of this problem. He was part of the problem. He is still the problem. And I have a few questions for him. So, General Avril, please come on the show and discuss how you helped Haiti get here. Yes, of course. Friend of my father's, or I should say ex-friend of my father's, but let's stay focused. Anyway, so now communication, I think, is a process of healing. Would you agree, Dr. Wilson? In order to communicate effectively, you must have done a lot of healing work. What I know, and you're a mental health professional also, and what I know about Haiti is we do not subscribe to any modality. Maybe after the earthquake, it started being a little bit more, how can I say, more acceptable in society, in Haitian society. But pre-earthquake of 2010, Haitians did not appreciate going to therapy, talking about anything at all. What is at home stays at home. If we were a society that was built on secrets, which kept us toxic. So, do you feel that could be at the root cause of it? The fact that we have so much unhealed trauma, being the first Black republic since 1804, I know, and we are the most Afrocentric country outside of Africa. And so could it be that generational trauma is contributing to this breakdown in society and breakdown in communication? Dr. Wilson.
Of course it is, because if individuals can't effectively communicate with each other, extracting the emotions that's oftentimes leading the disagreement, then they're never going to resolve the issue. Communication has the ability, if used correctly, not only to hear what the other person is saying, but also an opportunity for you to reflect on your absolutes and your conflict. And then when you get to a place where you're able to freely communicate with each other, you're able to hear each other, you're able to internalize, but then mostly you're able to understand the other person's point of view. Even if you don't agree with it, you're still able to hear it and understand it, and then formulate a decision. If emotions are pulled out of that, then you have the ability to talk it out. Even if you walk away disagreeing, you understand each other's position, and you're able to move forward with what I consider to be your new normal.
Absolutely. And I know myself, I've had a lot of healing to do, and I'm very candid about that. I'm in recovery myself. I speak about it openly because, especially in the Black community, you find it's very rare that you hear us speak. There are a lot of professionals for sure, but active participants or people who have benefited from the program of recovery. I've had to go to 12-step meetings to heal my insides. Of course, raised by a military general, let me tell you, that was no joke. Talk about generational trauma. I'm blessed to have had this father, but of course, with that came a lot of trauma. And for those people who look only on the outside to see how glamorous that must have been to be the daughter of the general, the daughter of the diplomat, let me tell you, I have earned my right to bear this name. A lot of those people say, they want the last name. That's why I call myself Sandra D, because I'm forging my own way in society today. I don't want that baggage, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that the healing is done at the soul level. And by healing at the soul level, you heal everybody around you. That is effective. So that's why I bring up this point about Haitians, having generational trauma. Think about if you heal yourself, you heal the family, you heal the neighborhood, you heal the wherever you are. It's a ripple effect, right? So I know Dr. Miltil is more versed in the law. So with that, there is also a need for discussions on violence against, each other, violence against, women and children. That's not something that's quite well discussed in Haitian society, correct, Dr. Miltil?
Yes, I think so. Now, for me, with
So Dr. Miltil, I was speaking on the fact that, Dr. Wilson just said that, we have to communicate more effectively. So I know that right now, within the, within the Haitian system, a important dynamic is the fact that I would say 80% of the country is Catholic, and within that dynamic, the Catholic system, it's not acceptable to have same-sex relations, same-sex marriages. Even
Oh,
though the U.S. is, and I know I could still you recall
okay,
when I
okay,
mentioned
okay. I
that,
know.
you just
I
pull
see.
back because that's just not ingrained in Haitian society. But I know that as gangs are assaulting women and children, but they are also assaulting men. So if someone, like, for instance, anyone that we know was assaulted, they were released. If they were a kidnapped victim and they were eventually released, there is no system in place in Haiti for them to take that person to court. So they will end up internalizing that trauma. And eventually, if they get in a position of power, that trauma, if it's not dealt with, will force them, will control them to guide them to find a way to externalize it onto someone else. So it's a cycle that never breaks. So even those people in power, whatever they're carrying inside of them when they were a child, I'm not saying it's sexual trauma. So I'm getting to the point of saying that mental health has to factor into this conversation. Mental health healing has to factor in, because you can, and it's Einstein, I believe, that says you cannot find a solution for the same person, that the same mind that created it. So these people who are holding trauma in their minds are not going to be able to resolve and find peace. And, for Haiti, if they're in leadership, I'm going back to the initial conversation we had about a panel of 7. We've had these panels before, but most of these people are not necessarily the most, I would say, emotionally intelligent people. And that's one of the requirements to be a mediator, someone in law enforcement. You have to have emotional intelligence, and that comes with your own healing. I know I'm saying a lot to say emotional intelligence. To have that, you need to have been doing your own healing work. Dr. Miltil, have these people, in your opinion, done enough work on themselves to be able to find the solution for this particular time and space that Haiti is experiencing, the chaos that we are experiencing, which is all from the human psyche? And I won't get into the metaphysics of things. It is all from within, what we're projecting out there from 1804, all this compounded trauma. Where does the judicial system place themselves in helping victims find peace and resolution? Is there even such a thing as?
This is the same problem that we have, like I said, in the execution of any judicial matter or any judicial trial. We don't have, after the trial, we don't have any possibility to send the person, suffering of any trauma.
Mhm,
The person cannot go to, they don't have a psychiatrist or psychological people helping them.
mhm.
That means, they only, like yesterday or before yesterday, I heard that a lady who has a child in her hand, and the gang asked her to put the child in the fire. And 3 days after that, the lady died because she didn't have any kind of, like psychiatrist or whatever
So
people.
can you elaborate a little bit on that? I know this is graphic. So she was carrying her child. Do you know how
Yeah,
old
she was
the
calling
child was?
her child, and a gang asked to put the child in the fire.
Is there a reason for that? They just come out to you
No
and
reason, without any reason. She didn't want to do that, and they child from her, and they put in the fire like she was looking at the child, in fire.
so the child was burning and the mother watched.
Burning, and 3 days after that, the lady, she didn't have any kind of,
Support.
support, and she died.
That is very sad to hear. And of course, as I'm listening to this, I don't know
Yesterday,
about you,
that
Dr.
means
Wilson,
before yesterday,
my
like three
heart is
days ago.
breaking. That's why, Haiti's on fire and we got to find
And that
solutions.
means if you have to have a mediation training, to help the system, the judicial system to wake up, I think you're supposed to add something like that,
Oh,
like,
absolutely. We're gonna get there. We're gonna
you
get
know,
there. As for what that structure is gonna look like, but it's important for the audience, and of course, I'm I know some of the atrocities. Sometimes I have to turn it off because I'm one of those people. Once I hear it, I can't unhear it. I sleep with it at night. I wake up with it, and I can't. That's why I'm passionate about finding the solution, and I became part of the solution as a conflict management professional. So that said, we know that the judicial system is incomplete because we know in the United States, in Dr. Wilson, you can talk more about that. The system, we have what you call DCF, which is the Department of Children and Family, and of course they are flawed. They are not perfect. There are children we hear that go missing, but of course there are a system of accountability. What you're trying to say, Dr. Miltil, and I think I'm going to put words in your mouth, and you can tell me if I'm incorrect. There is no system of accountability. Once that verdict has been rendered, there is no follow-up. There is no support system. There are no social workers in Haiti. So
No.
to take charge of a family that has been assaulted, because there are gangs that go into your house, the father has to watch his wife and daughters and sons get assaulted sexually. And of course, YouTube doesn't like the words, but you know what? We're living in a real world. And the fact that we have to censor ourselves nowadays is unprecedented. But let's talk about why you think that is, Dr. Miltil. Is it that because it's taboo? There is a high, and the reason why I can speak freely about my recovery is because there's such a high rate of addiction in Haiti. Alcoholism in Haiti, I believe, is over the top. So why do you think there's so much resistance to mental health, healing, or professionals in Haiti? Why do you think that is?
Yeah, that is because the gang own a lot of guns that they don't even use. They don't even use police soldiers and police Haitian police. That means everybody is scared about the gang.
That's
And
more.
can
That's just in the recent 3 years. I'm talking about society since 1804. So many countries have evolved to accept the modalities presented by mental health professionals. They are trauma practices. You have EMDR, which is a system that can help you regulate your emotions,
they don't have
process
that
the
in Haiti.
trauma.
They don't
Yes,
have
they
that.
don't. But my question to you is, why don't we have that?
Why? Is because the organization that come into Haiti, they never have that in their mind. They don't do that.
Okay, well, we're going to
They
have to
don't do
change
that.
that.
This
We're going to
part
have to
is
change that. But also, the organization that come into Haiti, I refuse to accept that because we have Haitians that are professionals. So, Dr. Wilson, I want you to chime in here on the mental health side. So, why do you think, and I think it's generally the Black population, if I may be wrong, because I think it could be because we've been known to be more religious than the average, people from counterparts in other races. Blacks are known to, we've survived a lot with religion. Do you think that can also hinder the process of mental health healing?
Yeah, because sometimes people use religion as a coping mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
And we always, in our world, for those of us who believe in both, we always say you can have a
Yes.
therapist and Jesus, but you still have to have accountability and
Yeah.
take responsibility for your healing while you are seeking your religious affiliation or activities. So
Right.
one doesn't necessarily cancel out the other, but if you use
Right.
both, designing their own personal lane, you can come to a place where you have total acceptance.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And this is not a topic of mental health, but you can't talk Haiti without speaking up about you speaking on the topics of addiction and trauma and generational, dysregulation. Because if you grow up in a household that the parents are dysregulated, the kids are going to be dysregulated. And if there's no place to go, then you're just going to repeat the pattern. And I think that's what we're seeing now. And I don't want to push this off on the international community because they are the enablers. And you touched on the topic of guns and the fact that the gangs have more guns than the average police officer, because we don't make guns in Haiti. I've said this before. We don't manufacture them. We don't have a Coast Guard that monitors the influx of customs and everything. Everything is done by the United States of America, Canada, and France. So I don't want to pass the blame on these sovereign entities or these countries, but I will say that they are enabling. They are enabling, they either are facilitating or they are, watching it happen. And it was the same thing with the murder of the president that happened 4 years ago. They either pulled the trigger or they knew it was going to be pulled. So either way, it's like a mother watching her child be abused. If you don't say anything, you're just as complicit because people are dying here. So you know what? I have no skin in this game as far as Haiti. People are like, you don't even live there. Most of your family's out. But you know what? There's something in my DNA that cannot allow me to just watch this, because I think that's what happens when you become so empathic. For me, as a professional mediator, it's my superpower to have empathy in a room. So let's move on. So we talked about the problem, right? We know that it's, we have governance problems, the governance, judicial, and political. So there should be, just like here in the process, you can talk a little bit more about the American system. When someone is about to run for president or any elected body, we look into their background, we find out who they are, especially just recently, Pete Hegseth, I think he was defense secretary, they were digging into his past. Apparently he was going, and I'm fasting from politics since January 19th, I'm not watching the news. Everything I'm saying is grandfathered in from 2024. But defense secretary had a lot of opposition because apparently he had some substance abuse issues in the past, and he also had domestic violence. And allegedly, I don't know, I just heard allegedly that he had all that. His mother came in and said she didn't mean what she said. But we dig into people. We find out Donald Trump he's been taken to court. No one keeps Haitians accountable. Their leadership, we don't know their past. We don't know what they've said, what they've done. We don't keep history. We just look at them for who they are today. And I think that's to our detriment because they bring baggage with them. And so how can we, and I know I'm digressing more, but I wanted to give some perspective onto the judicial system and also the political system. We have so Dr. Miltil, you can give us a hierarchy. So we have this panel now that's like 9 people. We have the judicial system, which is underneath that, so we have the executive, we have the judicial, then we have the Senate, Congress, in Haiti. None of these people seem to be very healthy people to me. I don't know them personally. I just see them. They have thrown chairs at each other in Congress when they are planning sessions. Dr. Wilson, this is like Saturday Night Live, Haitian Saturday Night Live. On any given day, you got to go to Haitian News to find out. You don't need, comedy because you've got it right. Except it's not funny. So these people cannot communicate. They will take a chair and throw it at someone because they disagree. So I'm giving the audience a perspective of why I feel like this healing component conversation is so essential. Clearly, these people have anger issues. Clearly, they have repressed emotions. And so, Dr. Miltil, from the top to the bottom, you have the cops coordinating and colluding with the gangs, facilitating the assaults. So all that to me at the deepest level look like unhealed trauma. So we have established that. Would you agree with that, Dr. Miltil? That's what we're dealing with right now?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
So Dr. Wilson, now.
Without a solution, they will never have a peace in Haiti. That was a good solution.
Right, because unless we have peace within ourselves, nowhere collectively can we establish it. I know some people say be the change you wish to see in the world, but when we're looking at 10 to 14 million people, yes, because most of the peaceful people have left the country. Those who are still existing in Haiti are directly or indirectly absorbing trauma still. So thanks for watching. Of course, I just want to remind you, first of all, I want to say thanks for watching, but I want to say from my heart, Sandra D, I want to remind you to grab your copy on Amazon and let me know what your thoughts are, what feedback you have, what you would have liked me to speak about. Of course, we're on this journey together. So Amazon, Kindle, paperback, Sindor, Inner Luxury. And for those of you who are ready to dive even deeper, you can get ready because there's more coming. Sindor Guide to Luxury Living and Emotional Balance. That's going to be available very soon. So stay tuned, keep watching. I will announce. You follow me on my social medias as I tease a little bit of this and a little bit of that for your high is good. Remember, luxury isn't just a lifestyle. It is absolutely a mindset. And I don't know about you, I want my mindset to reflect all of the highest frequencies available to us humans. Till next time, don't forget, grab your copy on Amazon, Sindor, Inner Luxury, Unlocking the Secret to Your Luxurious Self. Until next time.
Oh, and don't forget, subscribe to Frankly Speaking with Sandra D's podcast and join us every week as we uncover the stories of those who triumphed over life-altering challenges to achieve not just financial success, but a richer, a deeper, a more altruistic life. It's about time we redefine what it means to be a truly affluent individual. Don't you agree? So come and join me. And let's be unstoppable on this journey called life. The path to waking up to your authentic being.